Yeah. Sorry, itchy leg. Pickups video. Right. I feel out a bit out, bit out of bit out of practice. Um, yeah, it seems like it's been a while. I suppose it has, really, isn't it? I don't know how to start. I think there was a few things I want to talk about, but I don't think I'll bother. No. Watched the Olympics. That was fun. No, I've had sort of distractions. You get distractions. Things like the football, the Euro 2016 and the Olympics. I mean, generally for me, the internet's just a sort of a way to waste time. And if something like the football comes along or the Olympics, that's just that takes precedent as another way to waste time. So now that's all finished. Yeah. No, it's pickups video. I won't sort of like I said, I had sort of things to talk about. But I can't be asked. I can't really remember what it was I wanted to say. I haven't written any notes. Which isn't like me, so this could be a bit waffly, more so than normal. I'm trying to vaguely remember what. Nah, fuck it. Can't be asked. Yeah, pickups. I've got films and games here. I won't spend too much time on the films because I was thinking of sort of separating them out, but then again, I can't be asked. I'm going through a period of indifference, procrastination, lack of motivation, and that somehow filters through to my pickups videos. So to do why do two pickups videos or two videos when I can make one long one? And that was part of the reason I didn't really want to make a long one, but then I'd rather make one long one than two long ones because let's face it, they would be, wouldn't they? But anyway, yeah, most of the games actually, pretty much everything, all the films, about 80% of the games are charity shop purchases. Some of them, one or two, I featured in my last video, my out and about video. My 6 and a bit minutes constitutes. I worked it out over. I think must have been a good 3 months ago. Was the first video I shot, and I worked it out. That's probably about 300 different charity shops, or at least. And that was the highlight. 6 and a bit minutes. So, yeah. It's not all charity shops. Some good stuff off my list. But yeah, fuck it. Films. First two probably won't be any interest to anyone other than me. But first one I've not even seen. It's I bought it because of it. I can't even remember where I got it from. It came from a charity shop, but it's called Three Monkeys, and it's embarrassing. I never know how to pronounce another guy's name because I don't know. Don't really have much of a grasp on Turkish. He's Turkish filmmaker, Turkish pronunciations. It's Nuri. If that was English, that would be Bilge, but I don't want to call him Bilge because that sounds like an insult. And Ceylan. I suppose if you're a football commentator, you'd probably call that Ceylan, I reckon. So yeah, it's called Three Monkeys. He's one of my favourite filmmakers at the moment. I've got Uzak, Climates, and Once Upon a Time in Anatolia, and I can recommend all of them highly. They're just. It's flawless filmmaking. It's not like your standard Hollywood, like sit back and let it come to you. It draws you. It's sort of filmmaking that draws you in, and you have to. And it's got deeper depths than anything, anything that goes crash and bang, which has its place as well. I'm not knocking it, but this is the opposite. Not that I really know what it's about. I just really like his other work, and the name sort of sold it to me. But, now this one I have seen. This was that was it. I got this in a charity shop. It's a really weird price. Where is it? No, oh, it must be another. Really weird price. It was 2 for 99p, and I only wanted this. And the woman, I said to her, "Have you got a price for one?" She went, "No, sorry, 99p is the lowest we can charge." So I had to go and get another one. And I got some sort of Disney film for my nieces can watch when they come round. But yeah, I've seen this one. I have seen. It's a very, very sad film. I've got a feeling it might be based on a true story. God, I look fucking sweaty. It is really hot today. Why am I wearing a hat? I'm wearing a hat because I need a haircut. But no, it's really hot and sweaty. It's a sad film. I'm sure it's based on a true story. It's about this boy here. He's 12-year-old, Japanese. His mum. He wakes up one day, and his mum, who's a bit errant, she's errant and irresponsible. She's disappeared, and leaving him to look after his 3 siblings, leaving him some money. But then she doesn't come. She's away for weeks, and she doesn't come back when she says she's going to come to, and things start to spiral. And it's a very, very sad film. Heartbreaking. Probably not best to watch if you're feeling a bit down in the dumps, but I can highly recommend it. It's by Koreeda Hirozaku. Yeah. This one is a bit of a personal thing for me. I have actually seen it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it because I watched this when I was at university, and something in the back of my mind tells me I've already got it, but I never forget what films I've got. So I would have known if I'd got it, but someone's probably gonna tell me now. Yes, I remember that you bought that at certain pickups video number 72 or something like that. No, Detonator Organ. I have watched it, but I watched it when I was at university. Me and my friends had been out. We came back, put on a VHS. Because it was a VHS back in those days. Put on a VHS and watched it, and it's over. It's 2.5 hours long, and this is I was blotto by the time we put it on, and then by the end I had no idea what was going on. I just remember one of the villains going Oregon like that. He sort of whispers organ, not whispers, sort of like rasps Oregon like that. But it's a Japanese mech film, and I sort of vaguely remember enjoying it. That's the only other thing I remember. Now this was 2 for 99p. I don't know where that other one was from. This was 2 for 99p. So transfer that story I just told you to this one. That's why it says 2 for 99p. Ponyo, yeah. It's the 2-disc one as well. It's the 2-disc one. So yeah. Well, I did actually get it for me, but I can also, I can watch it with my nieces when they come over because I do enjoy it. It's really good. I'm trying to get them into Ghibli films, but I don't think they're really buying it so far. My older niece, she's just 4 and a bit, 4.5. She's just going to school in September, in a few weeks, a week or so. And she comes round. Now, when she comes round, all she wants to do, I don't think my sister's particularly impressed, but all my niece wants to do is, can I play games? She wants to play. We've been playing. Me and her have been playing Rayman Legends, and she can't do it, and I can't do it. If I can't do it, she can't do it. So certain levels are just impossible for me, and then she just goes, ah! But in the end, we give up. Or I try and sort of nurse her through it because you can. If anyone's played Gauntlet Legends. They turn into a little bubble and you have to pop it. So, yeah. Peanuts, 1960s collection. This is in my Amazon wish list for a long time, but yeah. For some reason, it wasn't much more than that actually. Probably about 5 or something. But I love the Peanuts. It's philosophical, which is what I like about it. It's yeah, quite. There's a lot of pathos and melancholy in it, and it's a lot of nostalgia. I think it's no, I thought it wasn't there. I thought, maybe I'm confusing. Maybe there's more than one. I thought it had Snoopy Come Home, where Snoopy sort of disappears, leaves home. I remember, well, it's called He's Your Dog, Charlie Brown. No, I'm sure it's called Snoopy Come Home. But it's the one I remember watching as a kid. But yeah, anyway, I'm a child at heart. bit more credible stuff, not credible, but less embarrassing for people who care about that sort of thing. Not that I do. Looper. Yeah, I'm really into sort of original, intelligent, different sci-fis, and this is one of them. This and things like Inception. Just, I wish more films were like these, with interesting storylines, storylines that do something different. Screw you, sort of just mess your mind up. I don't have a problem with that. I don't need to be spoon-fed things. I like a bit of depth, and I think this is quite. Yeah, well, it's Looper, and it's great. And this is an upgrade because I've got the DVD, and the thing is, I think the DVD will probably get traded into a charity shop because if I took it to CEX, that'd get me about a penny. So this one came from CEX, and I've been waiting for the price to come down. It's at Boyhood, £3. Well, I love Richard Linklater, one of my favourite filmmakers. A couple of Dazed and Confused, brilliant film, love it. And this almost breaks new grounds, breaks new grounds. I don't really know how you can go wrong with a film that uses the growing process, follows the growing process of a child actor. He's not a child actor, it's the character, but the actor follows the same process as the character he's playing. That can only be a good thing, surely. The only way it would maybe fall down is if the kid's acting wasn't up to it. But this is a bit of a masterpiece, from what I hear, and one of the great films of the decade. And I can totally believe that, really, because it can't really go wrong. It's sort of conceptually, it's almost flawless, and it's not narrative driven. It's purely, I think. I mean, if anybody see it, correct me. I think it's purely about the growing up process. I mean, obviously, it's called Boyhood. And finally, for films and television, a charity shop purchase, and this is a bit weird. Some of these charity shop purchases, no, none of those. Some of these charity shop purchases have been oddly coinciding with what I've been looking at the time. I mean, this is one I had my eye on, and all of a sudden it popped up in a charity shop, and at a really good price. So it was just a bit odd like that. That so rarely happens. I mean, be honest, it doesn't, does it? When you've actually been looking for something or looking at something, and all of a sudden it pops up in a charity shop, it's so rare. And in that sense, I can't really criticise people who go out and buy things that aren't necessarily on the lists. Does that make sense? I mean, this is one I've been looking at, and brilliant television. Band of Brothers. It's the Blu-ray for £2, and I'd actually been looking at it, and often see it in charity shops. I mean, the DVD box set or the Blu-ray box set, but it's always more expensive than that, and it's not that expensive in CEX. But I'm cheap, so yeah. And £2 was a bit of a no-brainer for me. I'm just annoyed I didn't get it on camera. I mean, because I'd probably take my camera out when going around charity shops about maybe 40-50% of the time. So, and it does feel like I do better when I haven't got my camera with me. And this is one of those instances. £2. The only downside, the old dears who'd obviously priced it up, put some sellotape over the top across there. And it's taken sort of, you can see where it was, the layer of the should be blue, but it's obviously come off quite uniformly, so you can almost get away with it. And I like the way that the blue's still in the middle of the B, like that. But I've watched the first 2 episodes, and as soon as I got it, I watched the first 2 episodes. I really wanted to see that second one, where it's actually, because the first one's about the training process, isn't it? And the second one's shows this assault on a gun emplacement, doesn't it? Which the blurb over the final credits says, "Oh yes, this particular action has been quoted and taught in as being sort of the perfect assault on a gun battery." So apparently it's referenced and taught in still nowadays, because it was obviously was it no I suppose that means must be partial. It's just suddenly dawned on me. Is it based on real events? I don't know, but so I've got my tag sticking out the back of my hat. Not that you can see it, but it's bugging me. Right. Right, games. Yeah, games. A shitload from charity shops. Bit of a mixed bag, I've got to be honest. Bit of a mixed bag. Some good, some bad. Some I've been looking at. Really? No. Yeah, actually, yes. But the first two are from CX Credit. Like I said, mostly from charity shops. Not spent too much. Not spent too much. So, and the first two are from with CX Credit. So again, I'm not spent too much. But this is all CX Credit. PS3 Essential Heavy Rain. Yeah. And it's got the little thing in it. I forgot that it was supposed to have it. That little foldy thing, that origami. I don't know whether it's sort of essential for the plot. I don't know whether it's supposed to have... something just fell out. I don't know whether it's supposed to have other sort of extras, peripherals, but it's got the little folded up origami thing. So, yeah. I hear good things. I mean, I know what it's about, but... it's one of those divisive games, isn't it? Some people, you either really buy into it or it just doesn't stick with you. And this one, it's one of my aims for space saving when it comes to my PS3 collection. I didn't really even know this release was out, but I think I saw it on, was it CX website or Amazon or something? I don't know. Some like suggested purchases, and it's basically Tales of Xillia 1 and 2 as the pack. And yeah, I've been looking to get RPGs for my PS3 collection, and I'm getting to the point now. I don't need individual. I don't need day one issue releases. I don't need anything like that. I just want the game. Don't get me wrong. I don't go as far as buying platinum releases or anything like that. No. But if it's something like this, I like the efficiency of this. The downside is it's got a manual. Yeah, we've got a manual. Ooh, manuals. But it's only a manual purely in the sort of technically. I mean, don't expect any bells and whistles. Barely any storyline. No storyline. It's purely just bare bones. But let's be honest. It balances out. It balances out the case when you open it up, which is bizarrely important. Right, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, some charity shop purchases coming up. One of them isn't a charity shop purchase, but I bundled it in with the others because it sort of ties in. Referencing efficiency, aforementioned efficiency when it comes to my PS3 collection. Another one of these. I seem to be turning these up quite regularly. I've got sort of 3 or 4 now. Generally go for the games that weren't really on my list, but I wouldn't mind playing, and I can just sort of, they slot nicely into a shelf, into a little gap, and don't take up too much space. That's a perfect example. Castlevania Laws of Shadow. Again, weird price, 89p in an Oxfam. I forgot what else they had. They had a few other things, but I think Prince of Persia, one of the Prince of Persia games. Not the cel-shaded one, the other one, the later one. I think it's the one that comes with the Jake Gyllenhaal film. Slightly shitty Jake Gyllenhaal film. I've seen it. It was crap. But yeah, I think this is exactly the sort of thing I'm looking for when it comes to those sorts of PS3 games I'd like to play, but aren't necessarily bothered about keeping. And I think now I've got a decent bundle. If I ever decide to get rid of them, I could just stick them all together and sell them all on, and then I'll probably even get them all in one one mailer, saving on postage. You know, what's better than saving on postage? This was in my last video, my out and about video. Most might have seen it. Professor Layton from the Curious Village. I know the sort of demand sort of dipped right off now. There was a point when people were going crazy for these sorts of things. But games I've always wanted to play, and I don't want to pay too much. They're everywhere, aren't they? They're ubiquitous. But £1 for a sealed one. I'm not going to pass it up. Like I said, they're games I wanted to pay, and £1 for a sealed one. And I'm just a bit sort of reluctant to unseal it. I don't know, it just feels a bit of a shame. But I know there's a debate about sealed games. You know, I don't keep sealed games, but I like the idea of sealed games as a sort of a time capsule. You know, if that makes sense. But yeah, now some weird PS1 games. None of the ones that I featured in my out and about video. You wouldn't have seen them. These are all times when I didn't have my camera with me. Another Roxfam purchase. K1 Grand Prix Kickboxing. That looks like Anderson Silva on the front. I don't think it is. Did he do Kickboxing? But yeah, it's pretty shitty, if I'm honest. I didn't recognise it. It's not a cover I've often. No, I had seen it, but it wasn't one that really I knew whether it's worth having or not. It was one I had seen. It was lodged somewhere in the back of my mind. It's one of those. I suppose you can compare it to modern UFC games, and they're more simulations. I suppose this is about as close to a simulation that PS1 can do. It's a bit. It seems to get the rhythm of kickboxing. It's a lot slower than boxing, isn't it? And it's basically two men all sort of upright. You know that upright kickboxing stance, and throwing not sort of probably more arm punches, and then sort of head kicks and things like that. And it's slow and ponderous, but maybe a bit more technical. It's probably something more of a simulation, something that probably you need to play a lot of to get to learn, and then you can get the most out of it. Maybe I've been missing it. Shitloads of fighters, it seems. People I have no idea who they are. I have no idea who's good, and it's funny actually. It's funny. They have clinches, and they have clinches. You know, you get clinches in kickboxing, and they're basically just two blokes giving each other a hug. Well, that's what it like. They just fall on each other. But yeah, 99p is probably what it goes for. Now this is not a weird game. It's Pinball, and 152. I suppose that's relatively early, isn't it? 96. I saw this in a charity shop. Didn't know whether to get it. I thought, oh, I've not seen that one before. Might be worth something. You know, it's probably the wrong way to think, but let's just get it for the game. But I can't help how my mind works. I have no control over my mind. I saw it, and it's actually probably about £5 to £10 worth of game. So I passed it up, and probably about a month or so later went back, and it's still there. So obviously, no one else wants it. So I think it's only like 4 tables. 6. Oh, there you go, 6. It's pinball. So I know there's some, there are some really good pinball games. I think, pardon me. I remember playing pinball fantasies, pinball dreams and pinball fantasies on my mate's Amiga. There's a lot of nostalgia in those, but I mean, how good can a pinball video game be? There's not much to it, I suppose. It's all essentially the same thing, isn't it? In with the charity shop purchase, but it came from cash converters. It was only 50p. There you go. It's literally just the manual and disc and a case for Bubble, and it was 50p, and it's definitely worth that. And I didn't know I couldn't remember how good my version was, so I I wasn't going to pass it at 50p, and I just, at least, if anything, to see if there was anything I could swap out. But actually, the one I've already got is in better nick. The manual's slightly yellowed, and the disc's a bit rough. Not bad. It works, but so this would be a seller on, or if anybody needs upgrades, or is missing a manual or something, or just don't know. Yeah, probably end up sticking it in a bundle or something. I don't know, and whacking it on eBay. And this is the best charity shop purchase I've had in a long time. Crash Bandicoot Warped. I would have got this on camera. In my last video, at the shop where, actually no, it was a different occasion. Scrap that. But it was the same shop. It was the shop where they had Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox. I went back maybe a month later, and they're really nice in there. Actually, the woman always goes, "Hi, love." Okay, she calls you love, or "Hi, sir." Hi, sir. But yeah, 99p. Yeah, 99p. It came in the DVD box, and I didn't have a price in it. I said, "How much is this?" And she went, 99p. I had a £10 note, and she goes, "Oh, you got anything smaller?" I went, "No, sorry, I don't." She went, "Oh, go on then, have it." I went, "For free?" I think, "No, I can't do that. I can't take." I knew it as you can't take. Out of a goodwill, I can't deprive her of at least 99p because I knew it was worth more than that. So I offered to go and get myself a bar of chocolate from the newsagents to break my tenner, and give her what it was worth, what she was asking for it. So, and as I left the shop to go and get my bar of chocolate, I had to go, "Oh, nice guy," not blowing my own trumpet. But anyway, yeah. I was going to say no. Anyway, yeah. So it is a duplicate. The only one I don't have of the Crashes is Crash 2. So if anybody watching, this is actually in really nice nick. I'll probably shine up the case slightly, but everything else, manual slightly wrinkly, nothing major. It's got slight rip on that sort of. It's the Spyro. There you go. See in the corner there. Spyro. Little leaflet thing. It's got 2 discs. Discs are okay. If anybody's got Crash 2 and would like to do straight swap, get in touch. Not ideally, but black label only. Yeah, if anyone has got a surplus of Crash 2s, I have a surplus of Crash 3s. If anybody's interested in doing a straight swap, get in touch. Yeah, I might have a look at. I've yet to have a look at my other one, see if this one's an upgrade. I don't think it is, but it's not that it's in bad nick. But another one that was, well, not that one was, but this one was in my last video, Metro Last Lights. I don't have the first Metro game. Was it Metro 2033? But I've wanted to try either of them. I've seen gameplay videos, like LPs, whole LPs of Metro 2033, and it looks good. It's just looks hardcore, pretty hardcore, like tough, dark, lots of dark, fast, intense gun battles, and I like the atmosphere. They're all speaking. Are they speaking Russian, or is it just Russian accents, sort of cod Russian accents in this underground? I like the atmosphere it creates. Generally, I don't know how this one compares. I've not actually seen so much of this one, but I don't know whether this was an upgrade, sort of an upgrade. Maybe whether this was slightly superior to the original. But anyway, if anybody's played this, let me know. But this was only 99p. I passed on other things in that shop. I think you might have seen. I had to edit the footage down. There's more I wanted to show, but they had one of my favourite songs. It was Electric Feel by MGMT on loop. They played it 3 times. So I had to edit the footage right down so that I didn't get the copyright strike. Penultimate charity shop purchase. I'd been to my physio, and my physio's slightly sort of on a bus ride, and it's halfway between here and another area I don't often go to, and I knew they had loads of charity shops here, so after my visit to the physio, I thought I'll just take a visit down to the other place, got on the bus, and see what they got, and came up with this weird thing. I probably wouldn't have bought it. I saw it, ummed and ahed over it, which will become apparent why. The reason will become apparent why. Did the circuit, didn't see anything, and sat back at the bus stop waiting for the bus back. Had about 11 minutes to wait for the bus, and the charity shop with this box set, it's a box set, there you go, was literally a few feet away, so I thought, I might as well go and get it. It was only, I can't remember how much it was, £2. There you go, and I bought it because it wasn't something I'd ever seen before, and I thought, sort of something in my head, maybe I might regret it if I don't get it because it might be rare or uncommon. No. I mean, I suppose you can probably have an educated guess because of the sort of the games. They're all you'd pay maybe 75p to a pound in CEX of any one of these games. But what made me think twice is the fact each one has that on it, the charity pack. So they're specific to this pack. They're not just random versions. I mean, I think one of them. The Hitman and Medal of Honor are both sort of. They have the same banner across, but they're both greatest hits versions. Out of the three games, and they're all in great nick by the way. Out of the three games, maybe Burnout's the one I'm only particularly interested in. Less so Medal of Honor and Hitman 2. I'm not really interested at all. But yeah, I didn't know whether to get it, and at least have as a collector's item. It's not collectible. Trade in and CX. I don't think I can't really find it on CX's website. They would take it, no doubt, but they'll probably give me like £1 for it, something, or less. And yeah, yeah. But I don't know, it's something different, isn't it? And I know Xbox collectors, like full set collectors. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. I spent too much time on that. It's not that interesting. And final charity shop purchase. This was featured. Where did I feature? Just two. Yeah. In my last video, you would have seen this. This is at the end. It's Summoner. I saw this in that particular charity shop. That one charity shop where I've had some good scores recently. I showed it at least 2 or 3 times in that particular video, and then it was the one I went into at the end. The one I got the big score, it was the same place. Maybe it all came from the same guy's donations, I don't know. But I didn't know. I left it initially. It was it was only £1. I left it primarily because I didn't have change on me. I only had 85p, and it was actually, that was one of the reasons. Last time I used my card in this particular shop, it might have been for that decent score. The day after was when the money went out of my account for local slags. So something in my head thought maybe it's the guy behind the counter who's duplicating my bank cards and using it to meet local slags. But yeah, so I only wanted to use cash, and I didn't want to take more cash out, and I only had 85p. So I went back the next day, and it was still there. And when I saw it initially, it was about 4 o'clock, so the likelihood of anyone going in there and buying it was pretty small, but pretty slim. But apparently this is a GameCube version of Summoner 2, which is on the PS2. I think Summoner and Summoner 2 are on the PS2. This is like a GameCube version. I mean, those two, the PS2 games are, they're sort of 50p to £1 worth of game. This is more collectible. But yeah, it's an RPG. It's like an action RPG, sort of hack and slasher with RPG elements. Looks like a slightly sketchy camera, So. Right, finally, online purchases. One from Amazon, one from eBay. I'll do the eBay one first. There's a story with this. I saw years ago, going back a while, probably a couple of years now, looking on Cash Converters websites. I saw a Game Boy Color game. Wasn't one I'd ever seen before, but the label was weird. It had a weird title. I thought, really, they're gonna make a game out of that? I researched it. Couldn't find anything on it. Realised that the game on the cash converters ad had been mistitled, and they titled it. So if you can guess what the title would have been, this is the game. It's called Monkey Puncher, which is funny enough as it is. I mean, a game called Monkey Puncher. I mean, that can only it's basically like it's about like getting monkeys to fight each other, which is really funny, but in reality would be horrific, wouldn't it? But in a game, in the game context, it's hilarious. But it's called Monkey Puncher. See if you can guess what the title was on the cash converters listing. Yeah, it was the title, because that was it. The one in the listing had a slight notch taken out the corner, so it missed the M. And cash converters had it as Donkey Puncher. Now that appealed to me. Not the Donkey Punch thing, but it made me laugh. The joke made me laugh, so it stuck in my head. And I thought, that's the one I got. And I looked it up to see what sort of game it is. It's like Monster Rancher. You have all these monkeys. You generate like a little monkey, and you have to train it up, and you make them fight in the boxing ring. But it just made me laugh. In fact, I thought there was a game called Donkey Puncher. What the fuck does that entail? There's a film called Donkey Punch. I mean, Google what Donkey Punch means. I'm not going to tell you what it means. It's pretty horrible, but yeah. But it's just the premise is just cracked me up. I think as a game, it struggles because you do everything you do in Monkey Rancher, Monster Rancher, and train these monkeys to fight in arenas and things, or in boxing rings. But apparently you have a sort of set 3 days in between bouts, and it's quite difficult to up your monkey's stats within those 3 days with everything you do, like training and sort of giving it food and stuff. And when you do fight, if you lose, which is regularly, because it's difficult to win fights apparently. I've not tried it yet, by the way. Your monkey's stats go down, so it's quite difficult to actually make any headway in that sense. And it was £3.20 though. The listing was just a stock photo, and it said it had a bit of wear on the side, and it did. And I think £3.20 is a decent price for this game. It's not massively expensive. But my highest bid was £4, which is probably more I should have paid. I would have been disappointed if I'd paid £4 for it. £3.20 for Monkey Puncher. Final game. Game's been on my list for donkey's years. One of the original YouTubers who I got to know when I first started, a guy, really top lad called Cod2Fan. I know Alex has mentioned him in the past. Doesn't make videos anymore, but he had an excellent PS2 collection. Really, really top drawer PS2 collection, and I think the video's still up. I've watched it a couple of times. It's just brilliant PS2 collection. And he recommended me this game, and it's taken me. This was going back, like I said, going back years. He recommended me this game, and it's taken me until now to get a copy, and it's gone up in price, or at least the British version has. You can get continental versions in German and French and Italian or Spanish, and they're a lot cheaper. But the British version, which is annoyingly like so many other games, tends to go for premium. And I saw this on Amazon with no photo and not so much of a description. Spat on the screen. The seller, I asked the seller some questions. He got back to me and said, "Yeah, it's English language." So I thought, might as well. It was £19.99 and £2 something postage. I paid just over £22, probably £22 and 2p or something. Which for this is actually pretty good, because the British version often goes for over £40, and the condition's really nice. All I need to do really is change out the case, and it's Samurai Western. It's a 505 game, so they always have limited releases. US version, continental European versions, 10 a penny. UK version, a lot less common. It's essentially a hack and slash. You're a samurai. in a Western setting. Yeah, really fast. It looks speed wise, it's maybe one of the faster hack and slashes, something faster than something like Dynasty Warriors, but maybe slightly repetitive. But it's something I really wanted to try, and I've tried a little bit. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I think maybe it's a slight tie-in to the Way of the Samurai games. There's 2 Way of the Samurai games on the PS2. Don't quote me on that, but it might be part of the same universe. It might be. Is it canon? Is that the right use of the word canon? I don't know. But yeah, it's taken me until now to get a copy of this. I'm chuffed. And as far as my list, this was on my list. This was at the top, and it had a star next to it. That's how high up it was. And believe me, there aren't too many PS2 games with a star next to them. There's maybe 2 or 3 more. But there you go. Oh, chuffed. Right, that's it. 41 minutes. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Plans for next more videos? I do have plans. But every time I talk about my plans, I never tend to. I don't seem to be able to tend to. I don't seem to be able to stick to them. I need some sort of I need to make some sort of definitive claim about when I'm going to make a particular sort of video. So no, I won't do that because I won't disappoint people. Well, not that anyone's that bothered. Gameplay videos. I was actually trying to make this video. I was going to try and make it outside, but it started raining. And me being a pasty bastard, I actually did a little test video and I looked like a ghost. Sitting in the sun. I thought, oh shit, no. And it had started raining. That was the main excuse why I didn't make an outside video, of course. Yeah. But, yeah. So yeah, I actually did. So it's my stills camera. Takes decent video, so I can use it to do gameplay videos with. So I have been wanting to do gameplay videos in a long time. I just keep saying yeah, I'm going to, but it's just an alternative, isn't it? An alternative. It's just more and more effort. And when it comes to me and effort, we're uncomfortable bedfellows, so to speak. All right, I'm gonna let you go now. Thanks for watching. See you later. I only bloody forgotten something, haven't I? Not a lot, but it sort of tied into what I said. I said how certain purchases were things I'd been looking at, which is uncommon in charity shops to find something you really actually want. Fuck it. Yeah. Believe. Agree. And this, believe it or not, is something that I did actually want to get, and lo and behold, I saw one in the charity shop for £1.80. Bit of a weird price. It's this. It's PSP Slim and Light component cable. It's only a Gameware one, but they're not going to differ that much, are they? I do have one of these. Do have a component cable for my PSP, but I've had it for a couple of years now, maybe a year or so. Back when I was looking at them, I found that they were all quite short, and it was really difficult to find one that was definitively at least 2 meters. And they're all about a meter or just over a meter, and I didn't want one of those. And I bought what I thought was one of the longer ones, and it turned out it wasn't. It was just over a metre. So I can use it, but you have to sit really close to the screen because my component port on that telly there is behind on the back. So you have to allow for a certain amount of the length of the cord. So essentially you're less than a metre from the telly. So it's almost like being a little kid again, where you have to sit really close to the telly when you play video games. And so essentially I wanted a longer one. Always wanted a longer one ever since I bought it. And this is 3 meters. Where's it say 3 meters? It does say 3 meters. That does say 3 metres. Might be a bit blurry, but there you go. So yeah, strange. It's only £1.80 in where was it? Sue Ryder, but it's just odd. It's just strange. Not strange? No, it's just normal. How rarely you actually get something in a charity shop that you've actually been looking for, and this is one of those occasions. So yeah, can't complain. Even I should have remembered that. But anyway, not going to waffle on any longer. Thanks for watching. See you later.